believe in yourself, and all that will come together in developing self-respect for yourself.
Yes, yes, absolutely. I love it. Yeah, it's definitely very good advice given because yeah, like so sometimes I will let like so sometimes people let other people define who they are, like based off their past. Like it's definitely with me being a lot more quiet back when I was in high school. Like I feel like, I definitely want to change that for sure, because I guess I want to get to know people from different walks of life. I want to, definitely show people a different side of who I am, which is kind of why I decided to do this podcast. So, I definitely don't want the past to define who I am in my present or in my future, because like, so yeah, once you have like a bad mentality of like self-respect, so I say yeah, it definitely pours into other areas of your life, like even with like me for example, like when I think of, I feel like even though most people may look at me and think like you're not fat, but like I may look at myself and think like, gosh, like I'm so big, like no one's ever going to want to marry me, like I'm never going to get married, I'm never going to have children. And I just start having those like so just that bad like mentality state. So I just I definitely want to see change in that, and I definitely want to respect myself a lot more, because like I said, everybody has a journey, everybody has a process. Some are easier than others, and listen, you definitely want to just start working on yourself, and then like I said, once you have that going, you will definitely pursue and reach your goals and to follow your dreams wholeheartedly, and you will definitely be a lot more happier in life. So
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah.
yeah, so I think my last question that I have on here is we've kind of got a little bit and talked a little bit about like following your dreams and all that, but what do you think are some good actions that people can do to show respect to themselves?
Sure, absolutely, no problem. And you know, as I talk of this, I've went through a huge progression, from where I was a couple of years ago to where I am now. And I may speak on this in a way where, with growth mentality and so forth, and all that's good. But understand that, just like you, the people who are watching this, I went through a lot of progressions, just like how you're going to go through a lot of progressions or are currently going through a lot of progressions. And so, really, first and foremost, I would say thinking and dreaming big is important. I think too often we limit our way of thinking, or we limit our way of dreaming, and we suck the light off, we suck the life out of ourselves. I definitely think that when we dream big, we glorify God. So why don't we put ourselves in the position to really expand on the things we're actually passionate about? Don't just say something that's so practical. A lot of people will like to kind of disguise their dreams into practicality, and realizing they're not in the position that they want to be. And that's the first problem. What we need to do is continue to expand our level of thinking so that we're thinking outside of the box, we're dreaming big, we understand that who we are, whose we are, and that we're made more than we're made more than we'll ever know. And so I think that's a very important thing. You know, God created us as very special individuals. We're capable of more things than you'll ever know. Keep on dreaming big, keep on thinking big, and that's going to continue to earn your self-respect. Another thing is, I think that it's important to understand your standard. And I think each and every one of us has a particular standard and how which kind of we're operating at. And understanding really the core values and principles that you hold in that standard, taking your standard at its level and raising the bar every single day, whether that be looking like, making slight progressions, 1% better, what we talked about. It doesn't have to be necessarily, if you started running today, you have to run a marathon tomorrow. No, it's a progression every single day, owning your standard. Before you hit the pillow at night, you ask yourself, did I own my standard for today? Your standard, your core beliefs, your traditions, your values, all that standard. Were you able to successfully accomplish what's in the standards, or what the standards that are yours? And sometimes you may not. but being self-aware that you have a standard and taking that standard and bringing it to a higher level. So those are really kind of two major core fundamentals that we can all incorporate in our lifestyle that maybe we don't necessarily talk about too much. I sometimes we're in particular seasons that are not as fruitful, aka valleys, that it may be difficult to think that way. But I'll tell you this: if you can change your mentality, you can change the way you think. I think if you change the way you think, you change the way you live. And once we can make that hardwiring of our mentality and understanding the power of dreaming and thinking big, and understanding the power of our standard, our values that we hold for ourselves, incorporating that together in the lifestyle that we live, that's going to allow us to be the person that we're meant to become. And you owe it to yourself, because having that self-respect for the person you look in the mirror is the most important thing ever. Because when it comes to you and another person, you have to win every single time your self-respect, your self-image. And that's not necessarily, kind of treating the other person bad, but understanding that you have to take 100% ownership in your self-respect and the values that are aligned with it. So that way you can continue to build your self-image, build a person that you're meant to become, and accomplish some of the things that are in your heart.
Yeah, it's very, very, very good stuff there for sure. It's definitely important to dream big. Like I said, don't ever put yourself in a box. Definitely take yourself out of your comfort zone. And yeah, so like dream big, and you don't have to take big leaps and big steps to get to those dreams. You could definitely, like I said, definitely the best way to go about it is starting small. Like Armand said, that 1% is definitely a very good mentality that like I've heard from him, a few times, and I definitely want to keep reminding myself that like having that 1% of doing better each and every day is definitely going to have a better mentality for myself, and I hope that it works for everybody else as well. So dream big, start small. So like I said, definitely go for the small things and work your way up, because if you start from the bottom and you try to automatically try to overwork yourself, and I've had those days where like I think, oh, I'm gonna like work out really hard, and then like here I go, like the next day I'm sore all over. It's like, nope, you don't want to do that. You don't want to overdo it. So like you definitely gotta start small, and that's definitely important. And for me, I think like a big thing is like definitely looking at yourself in the mirror and like telling yourself, positive things will definitely be a really good
Yeah.
exercise of self-respect. Yes. So looking at yourself in the mirror, reminding yourself that you have value and that you are worth and you're worth it. God has a plan for you. And you could even tell yourself you love yourself if you would like to. So there's so many like positive things, with that. So I feel like yeah, those are some major things to look into. And like I said, I think like I said, in order to to be the best version of yourself and to be respectful to other people, you definitely got to treat yourself right first. So do you have any final thoughts?
You know, Manny, we covered a lot of good things, and I just for the people who are out there watching, I just want to say, man, just if you look at the person inside the mirror, man, there's that person is so capable of doing special things on this earth, special things and this life, and it's important that you understand the value of that person. You understand what that person is capable of. You understand the worth behind that person. And once you really create a foundation of understanding that, that really allows us to be that example as I talked about. Because hey, at the end of the day, someone is hoping that you did what God has called you to do, and you're not going to be that example. You're not going to be that leader, that catalyst, that beacon, that innovator, if you're not earning your self-respect on a daily basis. You're not building yourself up. You're not looking at the things you do that's not allowing you to get to the next level. Just being very aware of that portion, because hey, God created you in a special image, and it's important that you act in a way that really allows you to be that, and you are. And when you're worth it, you're you're more capable of doing the things that you may not think that you can do. It just takes you earning your self-respect every single day.
Yes, yes, definitely. Believe in yourself is definitely a huge. It goes a long way. Once you start believing in yourself, you're definitely going to achieve anything that you put your mind to. So, and so that's definitely a good way to end this. So, like, if you are having trouble with self-respect, or if you feel like that there are struggles that you may have, that having like respectable debates with people, you could definitely comment here on my YouTube channel or on my Facebook as well if you are watching it from Facebook. So let's definitely tell us what you think, and what are some struggles you may be having, and we can definitely be a good encouragement on there to one another. So I think that is going to end this episode. I want to thank Armon again for being on here. You were the perfect person to have on here for when it comes to respect, because I definitely needed it. So I truly appreciate you being on here with me today.
Thank you. We get always fired up to add value, and that's what it's all about.
Yes, absolutely. So until next time, everybody, I hope that you have a good rest of your day, and I will talk to y'all later. Goodbye.